Hello students, in this video we will learn to not only balance a chemical equation, but we will also learn to identify what type of chemical reactions are there. Okay, we have five main types of chemical reactions: combination, then we have decomposition, and there is displacement, then there is double displacement, then there is double displacement, and finally there is redox reactions. Okay, so we have five main types, and we'll have to identify the chemical reaction from the equation that is given. So let's begin with the first one, and we'll keep this on the left hand side in order to us to identify in that very same order. We will identify what type of a chemical reaction is it. So our first question is SO2 plus H2S gives us H2O plus S, which means sulfur dioxide reacts with hydrogen sulfide to give us water and sulfur. Now first is we need to balance this, because looking at this I can say that it is not balanced, but let us put it in order first to see what exactly is balanced and what is not balanced. So we separate the elements on the reactant side, and we separate the elements on the product side. These are your reactants, okay, and these are your products. So if you are asked in a question, name the reactants in this chemical equation, then these will be your reactants. Either you can name it sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, or you can just write it as SO2 and H2S. Similarly, if you are asked name the products, state the products of this chemical reaction, then it will be H2O plus S, which is water and sulfur. Now let's separate them to see what is balanced and what is not balanced. Once we balance them, we will go to see what type of a reaction is it. Okay, so we have on the left hand side, and we will separate it as a right hand side. Okay, we begin first with listing down the elements. So we have sulfur, then we have oxygen, then we have hydrogen, and finally we have sulfur, but sulfur is already listed here, so no need to add that. So we have sulfur, oxygen and hydrogen. Same goes with the product side. So we can just write it once on the left hand side, and then count the number of atoms, each of those atoms under left hand column and right hand column. So how many sulfur atoms are there on the reactant side? There's only one, and one over here. So totally we've got 2 atoms of sulfur on the reactant side. How many atoms of oxygen do we have on the reactant side? 2. Okay, so both of them are over here with sulfur dioxide. And how many atoms of hydrogen do we have on the reactant side? Just 2. So we have completed over here. Then on the right hand side, we have 2 atoms of hydrogen. So I will put it over here. 1 of oxygen over here, and 1 of sulfur over here. Okay, so you can see clearly only hydrogen atoms are balanced, but oxygen atom and sulfur atom need to be balanced on the product side, that is on the right hand side. So let's begin with sulfur. Okay, we let us when you look to balance the atoms, always look to balance atoms other than hydrogen and oxygen first. So keep hydrogen, oxygen later. First balance any other metals or non-metals that you've got over sulfur. Let's balance that out. So in order to balance, we've got 2 on this side, we need 2. So we need 2, then we need to multiply it with 2, and we'll get 2 atoms of sulfur on the right hand side. Now that we have multiplied it with 2, wherever sulfur is there, we need to put 2 over here. Fine, we put over there, that means sulfur is balanced over here. Then we need to balance oxygen. There's 2 on the reactant side, we need 2 on the product side. So again we multiply it by 2 and we get 2 atoms of oxygen. Now to put 2 atoms of oxygen, since we have done it in our rough work column, to match this we need to match it over here in the reaction itself. So to get 2 atoms of oxygen, we'll have to put 2 in front of H2O. We can't put in front of oxygen because this is an entire molecule by itself. Okay, H2O is a water molecule. Okay, and when we say 2 H2O, that means it means 2 molecules of water. So that means it is actually meaning H2O plus H2O. That is giving us 2 molecules of water. Okay, so now that we have put 2 so that the oxygen gets balanced, the number of atoms of hydrogen on the product side increases. It was 2 before, if you notice over here, now it's become 2 into 2, 4. We circle over here to show that there is a change and we write the new number of atoms, which is 4. Now to balance this, because there are 2 atoms of hydrogen on the left hand side, that is on the reactant side, we multiply it by 2 and we get 4. We need to show this change in our reaction as well, which means that if we need 4 atoms of hydrogen on the reactant side, we need to put a 2 in front of H2S. Hydrogen is balanced, but what happens to the sulfur? Now how many atoms of sulfur are there on the reactant side? There's 2 of sulfur, because this 2 gets multiplied with sulfur as well. So 2 of sulfur plus 1 over here. So totally 3. So we circle and we put 3. Again over here, if we need to change this, we'll have to change this to 3. We don't have to remove any LCM because sulfur atom is all by itself. So we can easily change it from 2 to 3. So as per need, I changed it later on. And now if we have a look, there are 3 atoms of sulfur on the reactant side, 1 plus 2. There are 3 atoms of sulfur on the reactant side over here. Then we have 2 atoms of oxygen on the reactant side, 2 atoms of oxygen on the product side. We have 4 atoms of hydrogen on the reactant side and 4 atoms of hydrogen on the product side. So we have got our chemical equation balanced. Now to the next part, that is to identify what type of a reaction is this. So we go in order of the reactions that we have. Combination reaction, is it a type of a combination reaction? In a combination reaction, 2 reactants react to give you 1 product. Here we have more than 1 product, so we rule out combination reaction. What about decomposition? In a decomposition reaction, 1 reactant decomposes or breaks down to give us more than 1 product. So here we have 2 reactants, so this is not a decomposition reaction. How about a displacement reaction? Can it be a displacement reaction? No, it cannot be displacement reaction, because in a displacement reaction, highly active metal displaces a less active material from its reactivity series. So here that really doesn't happen, if you notice. Okay, there's only oxygen moving from sulfur to hydrogen. Sulfur remains by itself, so there is no other metal getting displaced. There's only one sulfur, if you can call metal. So we don't have 2 metals over here displacing each other. Same thing goes with double displacement. For double displacement, you need 2 metals, they are displacing each other from its salt solution. That really doesn't happen over here. So double displacement is also ruled out, so we ruled out this thing. But in case of a redox reaction, yes, it does happen, because sulfur loses its oxygen to hydrogen. So sulfur is getting reduced and hydrogen is getting oxidized. So this is definitely a case of redox reaction. So we can say this is a redox reaction. Okay. So always look out, go it in this order to check whether what type of a reaction, chemical reaction you have been given. Let's solve the next one. The next question says lead oxide plus carbon gives us lead and carbon dioxide. Okay, so we need to balance this. So once again we put left and right and we list down the number of elements. So we have lead, Pb is lead, then we have oxygen and we have carbon. So on the left hand side there's one of each atom that I can see, so we'll put one for each element, and on the right hand side there's one atom of lead, there are two atoms of oxygen and one atom of carbon. Okay, and here on the left hand side oxygen needs to be balanced, so we multiply it by 2, and now it is the oxygen atoms are balanced on either side of the reaction. Now to reflect this balanced oxygen atoms we need to put a 2 in front of PbO. Once we do that, the number of atoms of lead on the reactant side increases from 1 to 2. To balance this we need to multiply this by 2, which means we need to put a 2 over here, and now I think it is balanced. Okay, we can have a look. 2 atoms of lead on the reactant side, 2 of lead on the product side. Again 2 atoms of oxygen on the reactant side and 2 on the right hand side, and 1 atom of carbon on the reactant side and 1 on the product side. So this is balanced. Now to identify the type of reaction, once again we go through the same procedure. Is it a combination reaction? We have got 2 reactants, good, but we have more than one product, which means it is not a combination reaction. How about a decomposition reaction? For a decomposition reaction, as I have said, we need only one reactant decomposes to give you more than one product. Here we have 2 reactants, so we rule out decomposition. How about displacement? Once again we need one metal that is displacing another metal from its salt solution. That is not happening over here. We rule this out. For double displacement we need partners to be swapped or partners to be exchanged between the 2 reacting partners, but that is not happening over here, so we rule out double displacement. We are left with only redox reaction, and clearly it looks like a redox reaction because lead, which has oxygen, gives up its oxygen to oxidize carbon, and we get carbon dioxide, which is released as gas, as the arrow shows. So lead is being reduced and carbon is being oxidized. Okay, so this is a type of a redox reaction in which lead is reduced, carbon is oxidized. Let's take the next one. So we have our next question, which is silver bromide AgBr in presence of sunlight gives us silver and bromine. Silver, that is solid, and bromine, that is gas. Okay, so we need to balance this, so we once again put it left and right side. On the left side we have got elements silver and bromine, 1 atom of each, and on the product side we have 1 atom of silver but 2 atoms of bromine, which we need to balance. So we multiply this by 2 to get 2 to balance bromine. To balance bromine we'll have to put 2 in front of AgBr. When we do that, the number of atoms of silver on the reactant side changes from 1 to 2. To do that we have to balance this by 2, so we multiply it by 2 and we get 2. Sorry, this I will have to put 2 in front of silver in the product side. Now we've got them balanced. Now to identify the type of reaction, we follow the same procedure. Combination reaction, for combination reaction we need 2 reactants, we have only 1 reactant, so we rule out combination. Decomposition, we need 1 reactant that breaks down to give more than one product. So definitely this fits decomposition, because decomposition means breaking down. So here silver bromide, these are partners. Silver and bromine are partners in this molecule, and their partnership is broken down and they separated to give you silver and bromine. Okay, so we say it is decomposition. Can we rule out displacement, double displacement and redox? Let's have a look. For displacement reaction, once again we need two reactants for displacement, and even for double displacement we need two reactants. So we can rule out displacement and double displacement. Redox reaction, no, because for redox reaction we either need at least one of the reactants to have hydrogen or oxygen, but here we do not have any hydrogen and oxygen, so we rule out redox. Basically, if you go in this order, and if you rule out, if you happen to get the reaction in this order earlier than rather than going through the entire list, then you don't have to go to the rest of the list. Like for example, we got decomposition was the right one, but we still went through this just to show that decomposition reaction is this type of reaction. Okay, so no need to go through this, but if you just want to be extra sure whether it what you have identified is correct or not, you can go through the same list. So this is a type of a decomposition reaction, and this type of a reaction is very important because this is used in black and white photography. So remember, this can come in the exam to the importance of the use of this type of a chemical reaction. It is used in black and white photography, and it takes place when silver bromide is exposed to sunlight. Let's take the next question. So here we have lead nitrate reacting with potassium iodide to give you lead iodide plus potassium nitrate. Okay, so list down the list of elements on the reactant side and the product side. The first is lead, and this is a polyatomic ion, so we take it together, NO3. We have potassium and we have iodine. On the left hand side, that is on the reactant side, there is only one of lead. On the right hand side, we have also one of lead atom. Then nitrate ions, we've got two on the reactant side and only one on the product side. Potassium, we've got one on the reactant side and one on the product side. Iodine, we've got one on the reactant side but two on the product side. So we'll begin with nitrate over here. NO3 is 2, so to balance this thing we'll have to multiply this by 2 to get 2. So which means we'll have to put 2 over here in front of KNO3. When we do that, the number of atoms of potassium change from 1 to 2 on the product side. So this will become 2. To balance this on the reactant side, we'll have to multiply by 2, which means we'll have to put a 2 in front of Ki. As a result of which, the number of atoms of iodine change from 1 to 2 on the reactant side, and that is already balancing the number of atoms on the of iodine on the product side. Okay, so if you have a look now, everything is balanced. So we have one of lead on the reactant side, one of lead on the product side, 2 atoms of nitrate on the reactant side and 2 on the product side. Then 2 atoms of potassium on the reactant and 2 atoms of potassium on the product. Similarly, 2 atoms of iodine on the reactant side and 2 atoms of iodine on the product side. Let's check what type of a reaction is this. Is this a combination reaction? We have got 2 reactants, but it is giving us more than one product. So we rule out combination reaction. We can rule out decomposition also because there is more than one reactant. So what type of reaction is this? We ruled out combination and decomposition. Displacement, it is not a displacement reaction because in this displacement reaction the partner of one reactor is displaced, and it is displaced. There are 2 metals involved, okay, and one metal displaces. It will be something like AB plus C, okay, reacting to give you A, in which A remains and then B combines with C. So one partner is taken away by the other, the more active or active metal in the reactivity series. but we don't see that happening over here. Okay, so we rule that out. What about double displacement? Yes, it is a double displacement, because if you have a look, both are ionic compounds, okay, and they are exchanging the partners. This one goes here to join up with potassium, and iodine comes in place of nitrate to join lead. They are just exchanging partners. As a result, this is a type of a double displacement reaction. Okay, so this is a type of a double displacement reaction. We need not go and check for redox reaction, we can rule it out. So this is a type of a double displacement reaction. For example, next problem is nickel chloride reacts with sodium to give you nickel plus sodium chloride. So you have, let's balance this out first, left and right side, and we'll put down nickel, then we have chlorine, and we have sodium. So there's one atom of nickel on the reactant side, two of atoms of chlorine on the reactant side, one atom of sodium on the reactant side, then one atom of nickel on the product side, one atom of chlorine on the product side, and one atom of chlorine on the product side. To balance chlorine, we'll have to multiply this product side with 2 to get 2 of chlorine atoms. To reflect that, we'll have to put a 2 in front of NaCl, as a result of which the number of sodium atoms on the product side changes from 1 to 2. To balance that on the reactant side, we multiply it by 2, and so we'll have to put a 2 in front of sodium. Is this balanced now? Yes, it is, because we've got 1 of nickel on the reactant side as well as on the product side, 2 of chlorine atoms on the reactant side as well as the product side, and 2 of sodium on the reactant side as well as the product side. Now, to check what type of a reaction is this a combination reaction? No, because 2 reactants are reacting to give 2 products, so we need only 1 product, we rule that out. Decomposition reaction? No, because we have 2 reactants, we need only 1 for decomposition. What about displacement reaction? Yes, this looks like a displacement reaction and is a displacement reaction, because if you have a look, these are metals, nickel and sodium, and nickel comes in place of, sodium comes in place of nickel, knocks nickel out, and nickel is left all by itself. So sodium combines with chlorine to form sodium chloride, and you can have a look at the activity series and you will find that sodium is above nickel in the activity series. The ones which are higher up can knock the ones out from their ionic solutions, okay, and come in place of them. So that is why sodium combines with chlorine, knocks nickel out, and nickel is left all by itself. So this is a type of a displacement reaction. We can rule out double displacement and redox reaction. So this is an example of displacement reaction. Okay, got it? We'll take one last reaction. Next example is lithium reacts with oxygen to give you lithium oxide. So we put this side, left and right hand side, we list the elements down, lithium and oxygen. There's only one atom of lithium on the reactant side. On the product side, there are 2 atoms of lithium. There are 2 atoms of oxygen on the reactant side, but 1 on the product side. So we begin with lithium first, and to make sure we balance it with the reactant side, we multiply the reactant side with 2 atoms. That will give us 2 atoms. We'll change this to 2 over here, and now it is balanced. But oxygen is not balanced, so we have to multiply the product side with 2 to get 2 over here. So this we'll have to put a 2 in front of lithium oxide. This is balanced, but it changes the number of atoms of lithium from 2 to 4. We change that 4, which means we'll have to change this from 2 to 4. So over here, instead of 2, we put this as 4. So now it is balanced. 4 atoms of lithium on the reactant side, 4 atoms of lithium on the product side, 2 atoms of oxygen on the reactant side, and 2 atoms of oxygen on the product side. Now to identify the type of a reaction, Is it a combination reaction? It looks like a combination reaction. It is actually a combination reaction because two reactants are reacting to give you just one product, and it perfectly fits that one. We can rule out decomposition. There's no displacement happening at all, so there's no we can rule out displacement as well as double displacement, and we can rule out redox reaction because nothing is getting reduced or oxidized. It is just that two atoms are coming together to be in perfect harmony. So we have got a combination reaction finally, and we have covered all types of reaction. In fact, all 5 types of reactions have been covered in this example. I hope you are now in a position to identify the different types of chemical reactions. If you have liked the video, please hit the like button. Do not forget to share it with your friends if you have liked it. Also, subscribe to the channel and do not forget to click on the bell icon to get notified when a new video is posted. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.